With the new Twilight Masquerade Battle Pass today on Pokemon TCG Live, the free decks offered at Tier 0 are Teal Mask Ogerpon EX on the basic track with Dragapult EX on the premium track. As I always say, yes, spend your 600 crystals on the premium Battle Pass even if it's just for the free deck. And with Dragapult EX set to be the best deck in format, you'd be crazy to wear socks. Also, you'd be crazy to not get it for free. Upgrading the Dragapult deck is where I'll start this video. The Bones are Dragapult EX paired with Xatu, which is arguably the best combo anyways, so the Pokemon Company did a great job with this pick. You could honestly take the free build onto the ranked ladder and get yourself to Great League. That being said, a few of the cards are unnecessary, like Mewtwo and Erica's Invitation. When it's all said and done, this is roughly what you want your Dragapult EX Xatu deck to look like. And once you take into account all the cards given away in the free version on the Battle Pass, as well as the cards in the default free decks for all of 2024, there's just 9 cards missing. Best of all, most of the missing cards in this Dragapult build are inclusions in other Dragapult lists, as well as current top decks like Charizard EX, so odds are you already own most of them. But since I don't know how long you've been stuck in PTCGL purgatory wishing you could go back to PTCGO, I'll just assume you're starting fresh. Basically, Tatsugiri, Rotom V, Counter Catcher, Forest Sealstone, and Temple of Sinnoh are all staple cards, so crafting them now will help you in the long run. The lone outcast you need to craft is Radiant Alakazam, which is useful in some other decks, but Dragapult will get the most mileage out of it. In total, these 7 cards will cost you 2,200 credits to craft. And don't forget that Tier 0 of every Battle Pass gives you roughly 2,700 credits, so that more than covers any upgrades you need to make. Additionally, a third Dragapult EX is 100% necessary in the deck. Thankfully, you get a third Dragapult for free at Tier 1 of the Twilight Masquerade Premium Battle Pass alongside a copy of Prime Catcher. So skip crafting them if they're not in your collection and just gain 1 level on the Battle Pass to claim them. The only downside is that the third Dragapult is a different art, but free is free. The only other change you might want to consider is going with Scoop Up Cyclone as your ace spec. Not only is it good at removing a Rotom V from the field that you use to draw cards and Forest Sealstone for any card, it can also bring up a damaged Dragapult. Since Dragapult doesn't have a weakness, one-shotting it isn't the easiest thing in the world. Scoop Up Cyclone gives you a way to deny a KO, though it does cost 600 credits to craft. But Xatu is just one of the many partners for Dragapult EX. There's also Charizard EX, Pidgeot EX, and Lost Box. And guess what? Those other 3 builds are extremely easy to craft as most of the cards are given away for free until March 2025. For Dragapult Charizard, when you use Polymerization on both of the free lists, plus that third Dragapult at Tier 1, there's only 11 cards you need to craft for a total of 2,900 credits. While it is a bit more than the Xatu build, most of the cards are shared between all Dragapult lists, including Tatsugiri, Radiant Alakazam, Rotom V, Forest Sealstone, and Temple of Sinnoh. So once you craft them once, you can use them in all the different variants. Because Dragapult gives 60 hit point Pokemon a rough time, you will want the 70 hit point Charmander going forward. And Scoop Up Cyclone is the ace spec of choice here, as it allows you to bring up a damage stage 2, Rotom V, or even just reuse Charizard EX's ability if you want to. Switching to the Pidgeot build, again, you take the free Charizard EX deck, stick it in a blender with Dragapult, and end up with this. Because it cuts out all the excess like Rotom V and Radiant Alakazam and just focuses on the Pidgeot, Dragapult, and Xatu, it's super duper cheap, coming in at a measly 1,000 credits. There's only 6 cards to craft, and the ace spec you want is Neo Upper Energy for 600 credits, as it allows you to attack with Dragapult for a single energy attachment rather than solely relying on Xatu. I would recommend potentially adding a copy of Mela, which accelerates a fire energy from your discard pile if a Pokemon was just knocked out. But that's part of the fun of playing a new deck. You'll need to learn what works and what doesn't for your playstyle. Finally, we have the Lost Zone version of Dragapult EX. This time, you smush the free Giratina V-Star deck together with Dragapult, giving you this list, which runs 4 Drakloak, meaning you need to craft a 4th copy for 40 credits. Then it's a matter of using Mirage Date and Math to deal damage with Dragapult and Sableye, while also drawing a bunch of cards with Comfey, Colress, and Drakloak, then likely finishing things off with Radiant Charizard. That 4th Drakloak is literally the only Pokemon you need to craft, as everything else is free. It's a similar story for the trainers. 2 Pokegear and 1 Counter Catcher are all you're missing, meaning it's just 340 credits for any new player starting Pokemon TCG Live today to make a Tier 1 Dragapult EX deck. Yeah, kind of insane. And again, I will remind you, you get 2,700 credits for free at Tier 0 of every Battle Pass. It's insanity. I'll put lists for all 4 of these Dragapult EX decks in the description so you can easily copy and paste them into Live and see exactly which cards you're missing. Switching over to the Grass Ogerpon, the perfect partner was just given away on the Temporal Forces Battle Pass. Yes, Raging Bolt and Teal Mask Ogerpon EX go together like bare feet and lotioned hands. So unless you literally just started playing Pokemon TCG Live today, or if you haven't logged in once in the last couple of months, you already own most of the necessary cards to play Grass Ogerpon the optimal way. This is what a full-fledged Teal Mask Ogerpon EX Raging Bolt EX deck looks like. You go for the full 4 copies of both Pokemon, with Raging Bolt as your main attacker, dealing 70 damage for each basic energy you discard from your Pokemon. Ogerpon's ability takes the grass energy from your hand and attaches it to itself while also drawing you a card. The synergy there is great. In terms of how much it'll cost to craft, only 2 Raging Bolt were given away at Tier 0 of the previous Battle Pass. You could have unlocked another one later on, but let's assume you need to craft 2 more for 1200 credits. You could always get away with just 3 total Raging Bolt in the deck, adding another Super Rod in its place though. Things are a little more convoluted with the Ogerpon. You get 2 for free at Tier 0, but you'll have to wait to unlock 2 more for free a little later on. It shouldn't take more than 8 levels or so to get them though, so as long as you're patient, you can save 1200 credits. Just be aware that the additional Ogerpon are alternate arts, not the regular ones. Elsewhere, you need 1 Fluttermane, a few trainers, and a brand new A-Spec secret box. 600 credits, this A-Spec forces you to discard 3 cards from your hand, a good thing for this deck as it enables Professor Sada, and goes and gets you any item, tool, supporter, and stadium from your deck. In total, it costs 2500 credits to get all of the necessary cards to upgrade Ogerpon. And no, you shouldn't feel bad about ditching all of the other Ogerpon, they weren't invited to this party. You can also pair Ogerpon with Regidrago V-Star, but Regidrago isn't included for free in any of the decks, so it'd be several thousand credits to craft, and this video is all about being cheap. And that's it. Those are the best and easiest ways to upgrade the 2 free decks on the Twilight Masquerade Battle Pass. Lists are in the description, and don't forget that Palafin EX will also be given away for free in June on PTCGL, so stay tuned for more details as they're revealed.